NFL fans, happy Friday and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Jay All Day NFL Show. In today's episode, I'm going to break down my final picks for Week 8, everybody. Woo, baby, man. I couldn't have been more wrong about that Vikings-Chargers game, but that's what happens on Thursday night, man. Sometimes teams just flat out do not show up. Thursday night betting and picks are extremely difficult, but we're going to get back up on that horse. I'm going to bring you up to speed on all the injuries and all the information you need to know going into Sunday's games, guys. But first, this video today is brought to you by Underdog. Take a look at your screen right now. Real quick, guys, I'm going to show you how you can build a lineup with this higher or lower strategy. I like Devontae Smith in this spot here, guys, over 5.5 receptions. Listen, no A.J. Brown in this spot. How about Jackson Dart making some plays with his legs? I'm going to go higher than 37.5 rushing yards, right? And you could do it this small if you want. You could do just 2. You could do 3. I like Cam Skattebo potentially getting some receptions in this game. So I'm going to go higher than 21.5 yards, right? So just this basic lineup, we're going to have the potential to 5.86 our money. $5 bet to win $29.30, guys. Boom. We hit it. We hit confirm and bang, we are in. It is simply that easy to get into Underdog, guys. And for first-time users, with the J All Day promo code, you put in $5, you get $100 in bonus funds. Now, let's get into the video. All right, NFL fans, before we get into these final picks for Week 8, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It's a great free way to support the channel. And if you have that hype option, bash that hype option as well. It does help us get into YouTube's algorithm. And if you want more NFL updates each and every week, consider subscribing to the channel, guys. Closing in on 28,000 subscribers. And also, if you're into sports betting, check out my memberships. We hit a 12x parlay last week. We're up 300% on the season, guys. The proof is in the pudding, guys. Make sure you check them out. Get my bets each and every Friday. I just released them a few hours ago. So if you want in on that, check out those memberships. Remember, guys, we've got 6 teams on the bye this week. Lions, Raiders, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Okay, kicking off this Sunday slate, we got Miami Dolphins at the Atlanta Falcons, right? This Miami Dolphins team is in shambles. Let's just call a spade a spade. How Mike McDaniel still has a job, I'll never know. I just don't understand the thought process behind it. I mean, Tua is playing the worst he's ever played in his career. Back-to-back games with 3 interceptions. He leads the NFL in turnovers. The dude's been flat out awful. And I don't see it getting much better. Darren Waller just went on IR. He's out in this spot. But on the flip side, the Atlanta Falcons are hot and cold. They beat the Buffalo Bills. They lose last week, and the offense didn't show up at all against the 49ers. Michael Penix Jr., guys, is extremely limited as a passer. He throws the ball outside the numbers and deep down the field. He doesn't work the middle of the field at all whatsoever. And if teams take away the boundaries and those deep shots over the top, I mean, I don't know what he can do as an NFL passer. And I do think if he struggles in the first half, we probably could see Kirk Cousins. I honestly think this offense would be a lot more effective with a guy like Kirk Cousins who could utilize, tons of different players over the middle of the field, including Drake London and Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, all these guys, man. But the Falcons, tons of injuries. Divine Diabo, out. Left forearm fracture, he's out. Michael Penix Jr. is actually questionable because of a bone bruise in his left knee. He's questionable. And then Jalen Walker, the rookie, he's out. Billy Bowman, another rookie, cornerback slot safety guy, he's out. And then offensive tackle Storm Norton, he is out as well in this spot. But ultimately, I don't think it matters. I just can't see the Miami Dolphins going on the road and beating this Atlanta Falcons team. The Falcons have been a little bit susceptible to the run game, a little bit. But can Achane do it all on his own and just put the Superman cape on and get a win on the road for the Dolphins? I don't see it happening, guys. The line's around 7 right now. I think the Atlanta Falcons win this game at home. They got to win this game. If they want to be contenders this season, you got to put away bad teams. And I think the Falcons get it done. I'm rolling with the Falcons here, guys. Next up, New York Jets at the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. The Jets are another dumpster fire team. Is it going to be Tyrod Taylor? Is it going to be the bum Justin Fields? Who the hell knows? This Jets offense ranks 29th in the NFL. Defense is 16th. I just don't see how the Jets win this game. No Garrett Wilson. Sauce Gardner is also out in this spot. So who the hell is going to cover Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, man? I think Joe Flacco is going to have another good game, over 250 passing yards. I think even though the Jets play a lot of man-to-man, and typically Jamar Chase isn't the best at beating man-to-man so far this season, I think they're going to dominate. The Bengals really struggle with running the football because his offensive line's not super good. I just don't think the Jets can take advantage of a really, really mediocre Bengals defense. Trey Hendrickson is questionable in this spot. He practiced a little bit earlier in the week, but then he sat out on Friday, so he's still up in the air, right? So, where do I go from here? Do I think Joe Flacco can continue to be successful with this offense? I do, especially against the Jets at home. If the Jets go on the road and beat Cincinnati, I mean, so be it. There's a lot of big favorites this week that are in that minus 300 to minus 400 range. So it's going to be tough sledding if you want to bet just money line straight up this week. Not my favorite week for betting, just as an FYI, but I think the Bengals win at home. I think Joe Flacco can do enough against a really, really bad Jets team without its two best players, in my opinion, in Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, right? So, their number one weapon on the outside is out, and their, number one receiver stopper, Sauce Gardner, he's out, right? So I'm rolling with the Bengals for sure here, guys, in this spot. Okay, next up, we got on this slate, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the New England Patriots. Another game, big favorites are the New England Patriots in that minus 390 range. Oh, man, where do we go? All right, for me, this game is going to be won and lost in the trenches like most games are. The matchup I'm watching out for is Judkins on the Browns against a New England Patriots rush defense that ranks second in the NFL. They're only giving up 77.1 yards per game on the ground, and they haven't allowed one running back to run for over 50 yards. Extremely impressive stuff, and I think this is really going to limit the Browns offensively. I don't think Dylan Gabriel, is good enough to push the ball down the field versus Christian Gonzalez and this really, really good New England Patriots defense. I just don't see that happening. We have a big test for Will Campbell, the rookie left tackle, going against Myles Garrett, who's lined up on the opposite right side like 80% of the snaps this season, right? So he has allowed some pressures this year. 27 pressures and 253 pass block snaps this season. Mixed reviews, right? But big test coming up for Will Campbell. As long as Myles Garrett doesn't completely disrupt this whole offense, which I don't think he will because Drake May has been extremely efficient. He's really good out of structure as well, and he's been taking care of the football, man. So I'm going with the Patriots to get a victory here, guys, in week number 8. Next up, we got a grudge match. NFC East teams, New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. A.J. Brown out. Cam Jurgens, the center, out. Azeez Ojulari, he's out. Adoree Jackson, cornerback, he's out for the Eagles. And then for the Giants, Javon Holland, the safety, and Paulson Adebo, he's out in this spot as well. And Brian Burns is also questionable, right? A lot of moving parts in this game. A few weeks back in Jersey, the Giants stopped the Philadelphia Eagles, right? What's going to happen in this spot without A.J. Brown, right? Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, I expect them to have big games. I think this is going to be a close game. The line's at 7 right now. Taking the Giants and the points is probably not a bad bet. The Eagles really struggling to get this running game going this season. It's been very disappointing for Saquon Barkley, who's looked awful. Straight up. He looks frustrated. You can see the frustration on his face. And I don't see things getting a lot better. This Philadelphia Eagles offensive line has not been healthy all year long. I'm going to go with my heart here and take the Eagles to get a win here. But if the Giants won again, I would not be surprised at all. But the Eagles did get Jalen Carter back and Nakobe Dean. So I think they're going to limit some of these, out of structure runs from Jackson Dart and with Cam Scatterboo there. So I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to get it done. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Carolina Panthers. Another game I think it's going to be pretty close. The Bills are coming off a bye. Josh Allen is 7-0 in his career coming off a bye. can that streak continue in Carolina, right? It doesn't look like Bryce Young's going to play, so we got Andy Dalton, and he's been awful. Straight up, he's been awful. I mean, he looked terrible last week. He's lost the previous 4 starts before that. But the Bills have given up a ton of yards on the ground this year. A ton of yards. Like, a shitload of them. It's crazy. They're the second worst team in the NFL versus the run, and the Panthers want to run the football with Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. So if they can run the ball down the Bills' throat and control the clock, this could come down to a fourth quarter final possession type of game, right? Oh, man. So I'm going to go with the Bills here because I think Josh Allen having extra time to prepare. They're going to have this game schemed up, and Michael Hocht and Larry Ogunjobi, they're off of their PED suspensions and are coming back. That should give the Bills a little more depth on the defensive side of the ball. Ed Oliver looks like he's finally healthy. But linebackers Matt Milano and Bernard are questionable in this game, and that's not great considering the linebacker play for the Buffalo Bills has not been good all year long. I'm going to roll with the Bills here, but, man, another game I'm not really interested in betting because the Bills are huge favorites, but I think this is more of a 50-50 type of spot. Next up, Chicago Bears at the Baltimore Ravens. It looks like Lamar Jackson's going to play, right? Roquan Smith will be back in this spot. The Bears do lead the NFL in takeaways, though, man. So are the Ravens just going to flip a switch all of a sudden and just be good again? I don't know, man. I'm going to roll with the Bears in this spot. I'm going with an upset here. I just don't know if Lamar Jackson's just going to come back and be like flip a switch and just have this team firing on all cylinders and going to put up 35 points versus a defense that's been very opportunistic this year, man. And on the flip side, the Baltimore Ravens defense only has 3 takeovers all season, and the Bears have 16. For them to be such huge favorites, I just don't know. I think the Bears at plus money is just a bet worth taking a flyer on at like plus 250 or whatever it is. I'm going to go with the Bears here, man. I think the Bears, they've won 4 games in a row. A lot of guys are coming back from injury, and sometimes it takes a few weeks to get their feet under them a little bit. I think there's a lot of things going against the Ravens in this spot, even though they are at home and kind of a must-win situation, but I don't like buy into that must-win bullshit. I'm going with the Bears here to get a big W. All right. Next up, San Francisco at Houston. The Texans are favorites in this game. I don't know how. The Texans got a really good defense, especially at home, right? But I expect Shanahan to figure it out. DeMeco Ryans worked under Shanahan from 2017 to 2022. And, man, sometimes I just like Shanahan in this spot, man. I think he's going to, he knows what DeMeco Ryans does well and doesn't do well and like what he wants to lean towards in specific situations. And I think he can take advantage of that. And Robert Saleh has been coaching a hell of a defense. And on the flip side, the Texans offense has no identity. It doesn't look like Nico Collins is going to play because of a concussion, guys. I'm taking San Francisco on the road to get a W. And Christian McCaffrey looks like the C-Mac of old. 24 carries for $129 in the previous week, and he's been very involved in the passing game. 7 catches for 72 yards. The dude looks great. Looks like it's going to be Mac Jones again, but I like San Francisco to win in this spot. Tampa Bay at New Orleans, guys. Okay. Man, oh man, oh man. People might think I'm crazy, but if we take a look at Tampa Bay last week, they scored 9 points versus a completely decimated Detroit Lions defense that has been getting shredded week in and week out before last week, right? Well, you know why, guys? The injuries are piling up. I'm going with the Saints for an upset at home. Here's why. As much as we love Baker Mayfield and this Buccaneers story, they rank 16th in total offense and 17th in total defense. And this offensive line is decimated with injuries. Starting right tackle, Godecki, he's out. Starting right guard, Haggard, he's out. Bucky Irving, he's out. Mike Evans, he's out. Chris Godwin, he's out. Hassan Reddick is not expected to play either. You know, I think it's going to be a tough grind him out game, but I'm rolling with the Saints to get a narrow victory here, man. I think Spencer Rattler bounces back, and this game's going to be like a 17-14, 2017 type of game, and I'm going to go with the Saints at home. You know, it's a division game, The Buccaneers are on the road. This whole offense is pretty much not playing, right? And Baker Mayfield looked awful last week. Sailing throws, not having any time to throw versus a pretty mediocre Lions defense. And they got Chase Young back. The Saints, I'm rolling with the Saints here, guys. Woo, baby. All right, next up, Dallas at Denver. I'm going back and forth on this game as well. But listen, the Denver Broncos won last week, but they were getting shut out at home. People were like, the thin air, blah, 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 for this week. But like, you could say the same thing last week for the Giants, and the Giants were kicking their ass. And if they weren't horribly coached, they win that game. 6 minutes left, down by 18, and you lose? That's coaching, 100%. And Jackson Dart not taking care of the football. I think he learns from that going forward for, games down the road, but that's neither here nor there. Dallas at Denver, who wins? I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. In a shootout situation, this Denver Broncos defense didn't look great versus a very mediocre Giants offensive line, a rookie running back, and a rookie quarterback. Now you got to go up against Jake Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens. Pickens and Jake Ferguson are both tied for second in the NFL with 6 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb has had over 100 yards in every game that he's played so far this year. Dre Greenlaw got suspended for one game. He's out versus the Dallas Cowboys for Denver. I like Dak Prescott, man. I just don't know if Denver's going to have answers for this Dallas Cowboys. And Javonte Williams has been great running the football, man. They're playing really complimentary football, and I just can't see Bo Nix hanging up 35 plus versus the Cowboys. Unless this Cowboys defense doesn't show up again, which is very, very realistic. This could be a shootout type of situation. But with a really good run game and an experienced quarterback in Dak Prescott's not blowing an 18-point lead with 6 minutes left and throwing a bad interception. He's just not going to do it. I like the Dallas Cowboys in this spot to win on the road. A lot of surprises here, but like as I go through the tape and I'm seeing these trends, I like what I'm seeing out of the Dallas Cowboys, man. I really, really, really do. Next up, Colts at home versus the Titans. I'm obviously going with the Colts. Everyone in the world's going to go with the Colts. The Titans, fired their head coach. Calvin Ridley's not playing. They're going to have struggle moving the football. They got to go on the road, division game. I think the Colts win and cover the crazy 14-point number. Not going to spend a lot of time on this, guys, but, that's it. I can't see a situation where the Colts lose. It's an unbettable game at minus 1,500 or whatever it is. So stay away from it from a betting perspective. But, if you're doing a pick'em league or a survivor pool, the Colts are definitely in play. Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, another game. There's a lot of 50-50 games in this spot, guys. Packers and the Steelers, two teams that, you watch them, and I'm just not blown away. But one thing I'm looking at is all these injuries. Lucas Van Ness will miss his second straight game. For the Packers, Devontae Wicks, he's out. Devontae Wyatt, knee and kicker Brandon McManus have missed 2 straight games. They're questionable. D lineman Warren Brinson and Matthew Golden and Christian Watson are all questionable, right? A lot of banged up guys here for the Packers, right? And then on the flip side, not a ton of injuries for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Packers got to go on the road in a hostile environment. Pittsburgh gets loud and crazy. And the cornerback situation for both teams actually isn't great. But, man, if, Matthew Golden and Christian Watson and no Wicks, a lot of injuries to these wide receivers, right? As long as they could slow down Tucker Kraft. And Aaron Rodgers balled out. The defense really let them down last week. Are they going to let them down again at home? I don't know, man. This is a 50-50 game. I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going with the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers to get a win. But this game could go either way. If the Packers won, I wouldn't be surprised. But I haven't seen a game where I'm like, Jordan Love blows me away. Josh Jacobs was pretty limited last week against a very beatable Arizona Cardinals defense. They pulled that game out of their ass in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh Steelers need to be better, right? These are two teams that have winning records, but I think they're mediocre rosters at best. It's a coin flip game. I'm going to roll with the home team in a coin flip game. I don't know, man. I think The Steelers maybe have more ways to win, but I don't know. This game is a coin flip. I'd stay away from this betting-wise for sure. And wrapping up week number 8, guys, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at home taking on a Jaden Daniel-less Commanders team. I don't know if Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel are going to play. I don't think it matters at all. Mariota will be at the helm on the road in Kansas City, and the Chiefs are balling out. They're healthy. They're going to shut down this whole offense. I think the Chiefs win and cover the number. I think it's at 10 right now. I think the Chiefs dominate. I don't see any way that the Commanders move the ball consistently on the Chiefs unless there's just a huge meltdown, some fumbles, some pick sixes, and it just gets absolutely wonky and crazy. But I don't foresee that happening, guys. I'm going with the Chiefs in this spot, guys. All right, wrapping up this week, we're going with the Chiefs. We're going with the Steelers, the Colts, the Cowboys here. We're going with New Orleans for an upset, San Francisco, Chicago. We're going with the Buffalo Bills, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Patriots, the Bengals, the Falcons, and that wraps up the Sunday slate here for the J All Day NFL show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out that offer from Underdog. If you use my promo, you put in $5, you get $100 in bonus funds for new customers, guys. It's a great platform. It's a lot of fun, actually, too. You don't have to bet a lot of money, and it's just a fun way to do over and under and have some fun, guys. All right, enjoy your Sunday. Be careful with this week of games, guys. It's going to get wonky. I'm kind of limiting my exposure to bets this week, but just a little FYI. Again, appreciate you guys for closing in on 28K. You're the best. Thanks for the support. Love you guys. Peace.